The Midtown Hotel's ballroom was as quiet as if everyone were holding their breath. Underneath the crystal, chairs were neatly lined up. Lighting fixtures, a single white pay flower, a microphone, and a single podium were set up on a little stage. Beloved by Kelly. Reporters shifted their cameras and lens as they rubbed dry leaves under their notepads, a sound that echoed across the room. Across town, life went on as usual. A street hawker yelled from the curbside. Jogging past the hotel's spinning door was a jogger. Time appeared to stand still on the inside. As she made her way through the throng, she maintained the same scripted friendliness that had made her famous for so long. A kind nod, a brief hello, a little hug here and there. But tonight, those scripted, comforting motions didn't taste right. The makeup artists, who had done innumerable backstage rituals to smooth her forehead, now stood on the room's perimeter and avoided her when she shook her head. After requesting water, she sat alone at the far end of the row for a long time, her hands clenched between her knees, breathing deeply. This news conference caused quite a stir among the general population. Shortly after the initial, mysterious, and urgent alert, which stated that the morning TV star will make a statement regarding her husband's health, the hashtag began to trend. Comment threads were flooded with fans' love, outrage, conspiratorial whispers, and sliding assumptions. It was like a scene from a drama that needed live audience applause. Tabloids speculated, talk shows queued up. How this moment had been constructed from months of small private collapses was something no one outside the room knew and very few inside actually understood. An agreement and a handshake came to an end during a late-night chat in a hospital hallway. Through a locked door came a phone call. The choice to reject the subtle brutality of secrecy and face the light of day. Kelly was burdened by the recollection of something more delicate and the scrutiny of 1,000 eyes as she made her way to the podium. In private, she felt the man's little, callous fingers slide into hers, a reminder of their long history of passion. Under the illumination of the lights, she halted and gazed across the room. The reporter's face became one continuous grayscale and blue hue, compassionate professionalism tempered by a healthy dose of natural curiosity. She remained silent for a while. Someone in the rear busied themselves with a camera in an effort to break the enormous hush. Whenever Kelly spoke, it was in a quiet, controlled tone. I appreciate your presence. First, I must make a crucial point. The respect and privacy of my loved ones are paramount in all that I say here today. Please know that while I will do my best to answer your inquiries, I do not have permission to provide every single detail. After taking a deep breath, she cleared her throat. Mark has always preferred to keep to himself. He's more powerful than anybody I know, and he's beloved by many. However, he has been battling an unchosen opponent for the past few months. It's been 27 years since we were married. Things have become easier when we tackle them as a team. You are our public life partners, and I've asked you to join us in a family decision-making process tonight. Checking for a crease, she folded and unfolded a single sheet of paper twice. I am not making an appeal for compassion. We humbly request your comprehension. Mark has been taken care of. His loved ones are all around him. The outlook is complicated. Doctors take great care. On certain days, we will provide updates, while on other days, we will request privacy. The overwhelming display of love is really appreciated, and I want you to know that. I am incredibly grateful. Someone raised a hand close to the front. The inquiry was posed by the reporter in the manner typical of a politician. Is Mark doing well? Is he in serious danger? For an instant, Kelly shut her eyes. The kind woman who had cheered her way through the morning's weather updates and small talk was back when she opened them. At this very moment, we are handling it. Right now, things like treatment, family, and comfort are taking precedence. There is no way I can provide a detailed account of each medical development. He is not alone. He is here with us. That much is certain. Another reporter pursued much more aggressively. Would you be able to diagnose us? Next, Kelly's knuckles turned pale as she gripped the microphone even more firmly. No specific medical information will be divulged. Mark has made that decision. He has the right to talk whenever he wishes. For the time being, I will represent our family. The inquiries rolled in like a wave. Some were harsh, some tender, and some clinical. Are there any kids in his party? In what ways has his health condition impacted his job? Was there anything important that you failed to notice? Kelly responded to each one with a hint of reserved candor. They were publicly thanked by her. It was the doctors who she lauded. The rumor machine was not fed by her. Strangers gathered outside the ballroom windows. reading live recaps on light screens. As soon as a fan posted an open heart in the manner of a letter on a message board, it quickly became one of thousands of tiny notes, thoughts, fury, intrusive reporting, and sometimes poisonous rumors. A small number of individuals, whose callousness was predicted, began to murmur about the morality of celebrity privacy. Others, who knew what it was like to care for a sick loved one, offered meals, rides, physicians' names, and practical advice. Kelly made two shaky sounds. On every occasion, she paused to steady it with a half laugh that never quite registered. Once when she mentioned her kids, and again when she brought up the teen hands that had held Mark during the late-night vigil. A cathedral-like silence descended. Far from being an informational news conference, this was an appeal for limits, a hope that readers would not lose sight of the people behind the headlines. It turned out, though, that spectacle and humanity mixed. Camera's statement. Even a single syllable was processed by the headlines. The clip was looped by a late-night host. Because of the insatiable need for closeness and drama in our culture, the story continued to spin out of control. After the formal part, people started talking about things that weren't on the agenda. Asking if Kelly had thought about quitting her show permanently was an attempt by an entertainment reporter to get a more sensational line. Kelly's response was calculated. My family is my first focus. Those choices will be made as a family, and my job provides me with normalcy and purpose. Various observers picked up on various details. A Queens resident put down her knitting needles to tune into the live broadcast in the intervals between cancer support group gatherings. Tears welled up in her eyes like the rain she knew all too well. An Ohio fan's heartbreaking video of herself sobbing while holding a vintage poster of the couple went viral. They grew up with us, read the screen caption. A fiery journalist penned an opinion article accusing the press conference of being a rating stunt, which in turn sparked 1,000 counterarguments regarding the tightrope that the celebrities walked. Kelly returned home later that night clutching 2 bags of spoiled fruit that the hotel personnel had suggested her carry. The gentle lemon scent of dish soap and peppermint permeated the entire place. Sitting in the kitchen, she gazed at the portraits on the mantel in the dim light. A wedding photo, a beach photograph of the couple with their 3 kids, and a black and white still of 2 young actors preparing for their major audition. As usual, Mark had left his shoes by the door. His knots were loose, and he felt at ease. She brewed some tea and patiently awaited his return home. Not at all. The hospital had not released him. Doctors who chose their own cautious language had long, drawn-out chats that blended into the day's background noise. He sent a single text message, which had a 3-word confession and joke. I am exhausted. Prior to going to bed, Kelly typed back. Upon your awakening, I shall be exactly where you need me to be. She was tumultuous. More was on her mind. She wanted to set goals, provide a schedule, and discuss her future. However, there are instances where words fall short, and this was certainly one of those times. Kelly was unprepared for the manner in which the public and private tempos intertwined in the days to come. She came back onto the set for a condensed performance. Laughter or silence would escape her at times. As if they were entitled to find solace in the grins, the crowd observed them. Her time was protected by morning producers. She received a call from a charity offering to provide personnel with meals. In the break room, the show's employees took turns sharing anecdotes and strategies for being supportive without going too far. Back at home, the kids were like planets slowly circling the hospital. Now that they were all grown-ups, things were different. One who kept everyone smiling through the long nights, a daughter who meticulously recorded every little symptom, and a son who preached calm practicality. Those hours spent in the hospital were marked by an intimacy unrelated to the presence of cameras. A shared collection of vintage music, Mark's infrequent weaving, and finger knitting,